Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Get Your Chat On with GYC Vegas, produced in partnership with the Sherlock team at Cross Country Mortgage. I'm your host, Gina Yeager, founder and director of GYC Vegas, an award-winning PR and marketing agency. We believe every company has a story to tell, and we're passionate about getting businesses recognized. At Get Your Chat On, we sit down with local professionals to get to know a little about their organization, their role, and perspective on our vibrant business community here in Southern Nevada. On today's episode, we're chatting with Dulcinea Rongavilla, Executive Vice President and Shareholder at Cragin & Pike, a commercial insurance and risk management firm serving the Las Vegas community for over 115 years. In her role, Dulcinea brings over 25 years of executive experience to create meaningful impact in both the insurance marketplace and the broader community. Previously, she was President and CEO of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Las Vegas and continues to support the community by actively serving organizations including the Girl Scouts of Southern Nevada, United Way, and the Curastesi Center for Insurance and Risk Management at UNLV's Lee School of Business. Leadership Foundation Las Vegas, Vegas Chambers Executive Women's Council, and International Women's Forum Nevada. Her passion for bringing unity and positive change to Las Vegas is truly inspiring, and we're excited to learn more about her career, approach to leadership, and her vision for the future. Thank you so much for joining us, Dulcinea. I'm so happy to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so nice to be here.
I am excited to talk to you. We could talk all about insurance, which we're going to make an exciting topic.
Yes, we are. Absolutely.
So tell us more about Cragin & Pike and its history.
So Cragin & Pike is a long-standing insurance agency. We are the second oldest business in Las Vegas.
Business, not just insurance company.
Yes,
wow.
Business. Mm-hmm. Do you know what the actual oldest business is?
Was it a law firm? No.
No.
Okay.
Anderson Dairy.
Really?
So, yes.
Wow.
So
okay. It's Anderson Dairy and then Cragin & Pike.
A little bit of history. So over the years, we have insured companies, people. We have, if you look at the history of Las Vegas, we have been a part of it since 1909. Mm-hmm. And so now 116 years later, we have the opportunity to continue to serve the community in such an incredible profession, which is one that is absolutely necessary for every business to run. You need insurance in order to run a business, right? Mm-hmm. So through that, we are protecting the wealth of the people, the businesses, the community. We are allowing business to continue, and we are so proud to be here. Las Vegas is home, and we are Vegas born.
Is it still a small company? How many employees?
We have a plus or minus 50 employees.
Wow. Yeah. And still, it's nice that you've remained, companies grow, obviously, but it's nice that it's still, a close-knit environment, right?
And we are still independently owned. Mm-hmm. So through that, I am honored to have five amazing partners where we all have come together and recognize the importance of maintaining the independent nature of our business and being able to serve our employees, serve the community as a Las Vegas owned business. And we have clients all over the country.
Oh, really?
However, this is our headquarters.
Okay. You're based here,
yes.
But clients everywhere. Okay. How did you discover that insurance was your true passion and your true calling?
Well, it took a minute, actually probably about 12 years. So I fell into insurance just as many other professionals have. It was an opportunity out of my University of Arizona experience. The Cigna Healthcare was at the on-campus hiring program, for lack of a better term. And I said yes. I don't know that I really realized that this was my calling until I had the opportunity to serve as the CEO of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Las Vegas.
Okay.
And I spun out of the insurance industry and had the amazing opportunity to serve the youth of Southern Nevada for 5 years. I was the VP of development and then the CEO at Boys and Girls Club. And once we merged the Las Vegas clubs and the Henderson clubs, Cragin & Pike, who was my insurance broker, both on the property and casualty and employee benefits, asked if I would consider coming back to the insurance industry. And when I sat back and said to myself, is this the path that I'm going to serve the community for another however many years I have left to work. And through that, I found that serving people and being able to both protect their businesses, protect their employees, but at the same time be a part of the community in such a special way, because Cragin and Pike is a community partner. That is when I found that it was truly my calling. And now 11 years later, I will retire, and I joke and say I have another 20 years, and I could absolutely in a heartbeat do what I'm doing for another 20 years.
Wow.
I get to work with some of the most amazing individuals, amazing companies. Our team at Cragin and Pike is the best, and it just every day I meet someone who I learn from, and the lifelong learning is really what keeps me going.
Tell me about, like, what's your day-to-day like? What does Dulcinea handle on a regular basis?
So it starts off really early in the morning.
Okay.
So my alarm goes off at about 4.
Whoa.
And I go to the gym. I walk the dog. I have my time in the morning. And then the day starts with whether it's a client call, a meeting with one of our team members. This week I spent an entire day at a board retreat for the United Way.
Oh, very cool.
This last Tuesday. It really is in large part people directed. It really is. It just identifying how, whether it is my community service or it is what I do for a living. I feel like what I do for a living is identifying how I can help solve problems, really, and fill gaps and create solutions, whether it is an insurance solution or a community-driven solution. I love connecting people, and I love learning about people. I ask a lot of questions because I just love to learn about what motivates people. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, how do I help this person connect to this person or this company? Or that is what really gets me going.
So you talked a little bit about your, some of what you did previously and kind of a little bit of your journey. What are some of those key milestones that shaped your career and brought you where you are today? You could start just, if you want to, just with the last, 12 years that you've spent there.
So I see that the milestones really involve the people who have entered my life. I really look at and I call it a personal board of directors, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, that's great.
But being able to identify individuals who you trust and who are going to be there in times of need and times of so as you look at that personal board of directors, then on top of that, I got married 12 years ago and met my husband. I had my son, which gave me an even better perspective of just the balance that is associated with being a busy working professional. And so I'm very proud that 3 years ago, I was offered the opportunity to become an owner at Cragin and Pike and to take part in the direction that this organization is headed. And so through that, it has been absolutely, I would say the last 12 years have just been a lot of interactions and being able to say yes to things that maybe I wouldn't have otherwise said yes to.
And I understand that was a record-breaking thing, right? You were the first female shareholder of the company, right?
Yes, in 113 years.
Yes, that's exciting. Has there been another one since, or
I will say that
you're advocating for that now?
My goal is that I was certainly the first, but my goal is that I will certainly not be the last.
Yes, absolutely, of course. What would you say is the mission or the purpose that lies at the heart of your work?
Helping people.
Yeah,
it really is. I mean, I think I basically said that. It is truly identifying ways that I can make this make it better than I left it, and to be kind and thoughtful, and to really sit and listen, not just ask questions to ask questions, but to listen and get to know people. And the work is, I see it as work to play, play to work, because when I'm working, it's fun. And when I'm not working, it's fun. So it's this ebb and flow of work to play, play to work. And I think that is the opportunity to connect with people like you and to be introduced to people like you through other amazing individuals.
Right.
It just keeps me going.
That's a great answer and it segues right into my next question, which was the whole reason that got me interested in talking to you was that we work with a couple of different industries that are losing their workforce because they're aging, and there aren't a lot of people interested in going into that as a career, because maybe you don't need a college education to go into it, or the baby boomers are retiring, nobody's coming forth. How do we get people more interested in those fields? Insurance is one of those fields that people don't think about entering. They're not, I'd just love to be an insurance agent one day, or a broker, or whatever the role may be. And I heard you speak about your involvement with an advocacy in developing a new risk and insurance management major at UNLV. And so I'd love to hear more about that and how you are working to inspire those future generations to enter the industry.
Well, as I mentioned, I fell into insurance, and 30 years later, I'm still here. It is, and I mentioned it is an absolutely phenomenal industry that I would not have had any clue about. And most people that I meet were not striving to be an insurance agent right out of the gate. So our goal, and when I say it is really thanks to the Nevada Surplus Lines Foundation, who contributed to UNLV's Lee Business School to create the Center for the Crestasy Center for Insurance and Risk Management. And the reason for that is that there are approximately 1 million insurance professionals in the United States, and approximately 50% are expected to retire over the next 7 to 10 years.
Wow.
So not only is that a tremendous opportunity for a career path,
right?
It is so for young people, whether you are, or even if you're in the middle of another career, but to look at all of the different options that are available. You might be a numbers person, so maybe an actuary or an underwriter. You might be a phenomenal salesperson, so you have all of the production, new business development. You might be an amazing customer service person. You have all of the account management, and it's insurance carriers, it is insurance brokers. So the Nevada Surplus Lines Foundation was instrumental in ensuring that there would be they supported a professor, and through that professor came the center. Through the center, we have now, our goal is to ultimately be able to have insurance and risk management as a major, which it's not, it's still moving down that path.
Okay.
And it is also, so through a board of advisors, I do sit on the board of advisors of the Crestasy Center for Insurance and Risk Management. It's a mouthful.
Yeah.
So we were incredibly excited in October of 2023 when we had the opportunity to celebrate announce the center. And this was at a dinner at UNLV, and we had a couple hundred professionals from the industry. We had students there. We had the professor. We had our board of advisors. It was an incredibly celebratory evening. And since then, we have had the opportunity to pull together the full board of directors. We have our board of advisors, and we are very diligently working down the path of having a major. So the goal would be that students from the Lee Business School would be able to select insurance and risk management as a major going forward. And so this center is the first insurance and risk management center west of the Mississippi.
Okay.
So what a wonderful opportunity for not only Las Vegas youth to pursue insurance and risk management, but for others from the West Coast to have yet another option of an industry that is an absolute necessary industry. It is an industry, as I mentioned earlier, that you can't run a business without it.
Right.
And the risk management aspect, protecting your employees and ensuring that your building is safe and that your drivers are safe. And it is, and the science behind the actual rating of insurance. So it has truly been a wonderful opportunity to share with the future generation the chance to see something different. We also, when I say we, the Nevada Surplus Lines Foundation was kind enough to also sponsor the insurance storefront at Junior Achievement at Finance Park.
Okay, that is so cool. Which is it's a new facility that they just took over an existing building and built out the whole thing.
Yes,
and moved there.
It is. Have you visited?
I have. Yeah.
Oh, it is. So the Crestacea Center is the insurance storefront.
Okay.
So through Finance
cool.
Park, you have high school, either middle school or high school students who become an adult for a day after a number of lessons that they have learned how to save, how to budget, and they have a number of different budgeting points that they need to apply for a car loan or a home loan. And if they decide to purchase a car, they now need to get insurance. So they go to the Crestacea Center for Insurance and Risk Management storefront, and that is where they learn about insurance. So whether it's renter's insurance or homeowners or the car insurance that they need to protect their car, it has become, now we're talking to the high school students or middle schoolers. And it's really about identifying opportunities for these young people to see that there are more options out there. And that is what Finance Park is doing. I am so proud of Junior Achievement and their team and the team that came together to be able to create this new Inspiration Center. It truly is inspirational. So.
I love that. I'm so glad that you brought that up. Let's see. So we know that you give back to the community. We know how involved you are in sitting on different boards and being involved with different organizations. You mentioned United Way. I'm assuming you sit on the board for United Way.
Yes,
okay. I do. And so how does Cragin and Pike as a company give back? We know you do individually. How does the company give back?
So a handful, actually it was right before COVID, we had always identified opportunities to give back, but we decided to create an internal employee committee. And coming out of the nonprofit world for that short 5-year stint, my belief in time, talent, and treasure, and I'm sure that everyone listening is at some point in time given of their time. They've given of their treasure, and that's whether it is going through your home and donating what may not bring joy to your life anymore, but maybe it brings joy to others, and donating to our wonderful nonprofit community. And then we have our talent. We all, at some point in time, have given of our talent. So we decided to name our committee the Triple T Committee, and it is the Time, Talent, and Treasure Committee. And at the beginning of each year, we sit down and we identify the initiatives that we are going to support for the year. So this year we are doing a drive for the Animal Foundation. So we just kicked that one off for blankets and food and leashes, et cetera, the things that the Animal Foundation needs. We also, at the end of every year, and we have for the last 40 years, supported candlelighters, and we adopt a family. So every year, a family gets an amazing holiday from Cragin and Pike. And then during the last year, we did a water drive for Help Us Southern Nevada when they deliver waters out to the homeless in the middle of the summer. We also have supported Junior Achievement in their Boo-a-thon and other events that they have. And then all of the partners and our producers, they all serve on boards or committees at nonprofits. So the expectation is that we give back of our time, of our talent and of our treasure.
Okay, you're getting me excited. We can talk offline about the Las Vegas Natural History Museum. I sit on the board. We're looking for new board members.
Oh, awesome.
So I'd love to talk to you about if you have somebody on your team that would like to serve with us, we'd be happy to talk about that. So.
I think I might. The person is, I see that person in my mind.
Yay!
So let's definitely talk after.
Awesome.
And again, I love connecting. So this is that is especially as it relates to some of our younger, newer professionals and identifying what are they passionate about?
What are they passionate about?
What do they love about what they do on a daily basis, and how can that be ignited through some of the time, the talent, and the treasure that they can give.
Right. It's all about matching, right? You know, with the museum, it's about education, there's special events. It's, you know, who doesn't love dinosaurs, but it's culture too. And so it's different than serving an organization that, you know, serves people with intellectual disabilities, or, you know, organization where you're, you know, it's a hunger cause or something like that. You know, there's something that drives us all in a different way. And so, yeah, it's great. If you've got someone who will match up with that mission, it's perfect.
I just might. So I will say
Awesome.
that if you, and a mentor told me many years ago, probably 25 years ago, pick your passion and the rest will come.
Yeah.
And I think that applies to every single decision as it relates to your life in general. You mentioned the Natural History Museum. My son, his school just about 2 weeks ago went on a field trip at the Natural History Museum.
Awesome.
And he had a ball. It was such a wonderful experience. And I think the Natural History Museum is an incredible organization and should shout from the rooftops and,
Thank you.
and build that board.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad you said that.
Yes.
Let's talk about professional advice. So, you know, looking back, you talked about your core, your internal board. You know, what are some of the most valuable lessons that you've learned in your career that, you know, you could impart here that would benefit others or those looking to pivot careers, because you did that a couple times.
I did. Only twice though. So I left and came back.
Yeah, right.
So this might be, so my belief why I'm here today is because I was not afraid to say yes to opportunities that I might not have been ready for. So to say yes to move to Las Vegas from Arizona in a 2-day decision process, and 3 weeks later I'm out here, and that was 20 years ago, and I never looked back. To say yes to entering the nonprofit world and not ever, outside of sitting on a board, not ever having that experience, but knowing that I had the transferable skills and that I could learn, and having a great team to teach me. So saying yes, and then learning that sometimes you can say yes too much, and then you have to then balance to say, wow, I just said yes to that. Now I need to say no to this. So as you continue to say yes to whether it is community involvement, board participation, meetings, friends, to know that you know your values, right? And are they aligning with your values? And don't be afraid to, when you tap out, to be able to say no.
Right.
And no, thank you. It's more of and learning that no period is a full sentence. And and I think that the ability to manage a schedule, especially because now we are on Zoom calls and team calls, and my team yesterday, one of my team members said, I get very scared when I look at your calendar because of the back to back. And I know that it's very difficult to truly have a balance because there's always one that is weighing down the other, et cetera.
All right. Is there any upcoming initiatives or programs or anything exciting coming up that you want to plug?
So every year, I'm sure everyone out there listening is super excited about the cookies from Girl Scouts of Southern Nevada. So we, Cragin and Pike, this year, we were asked to sponsor a life-size cookie box that is going around from cookie selling spot to cookie selling spot.
Oh, cool.
And we were just absolutely delighted to support Girl Scouts, but at the same time to support cookie season. So,
do these have giant cookies inside?
well, wouldn't that be nice? No.
As big as my head.
Right. And then, and from that, every year we have Girl Scouts has desserts before dinner. So have you ever been to desserts before dinner?
I've heard of it, but I've never been. No.
Okay. So that is an incredible event. It is a beautiful gala where 5 to 6 amazing individuals, community members are honored.
Okay.
But it starts off with a cookie of the night, and chefs from restaurants on the Strip and other restaurants in Las Vegas come together, and they make their version of dessert out of that particular cookie. Okay. And so you show up and you eat dessert after dessert while you are silent auction shopping, and you get to vote on the winner. And so at the actual event, at the gala, the winner of the desserts before dinner. So you get dessert, then you go in, you have an amazing time with the honorees and their mini-me's, their littles, and it's really fun. And then you have dinner, and then you have dessert again. And it is a wonderful night. So I took my husband for the first time a number of years ago, and he gets to go to a lot of galas, and this is the one that he asks for every single year.
Oh, that's fun.
And then the other, so United Way is another board, the other board that I sit on, and Day of Caring. So I talked about time, talent, and treasure. So if you have time on September 19th, this is a day where nonprofits throughout the community identify projects where volunteers can come out and complete those projects. So you can do it with your company, you can do it individually. There are sponsorships. You can just give of you can give of your treasure as a sponsor, but you can also just give of your time and your talent. So you can, if you're a painter or you want to clean books at Spread the Word Nevada, or you want to clean up a garden, there are a number of opportunities that are available through Day of Caring. And it is just an awesome opportunity to connect with other people from Las Vegas as well.
Oh, it sounds like so much fun. And I have been to the kickoff part of it before, but I've never actually done a service project before through it. So I think that would be fun to get my team involved this year too.
That'd be great.
All right. So I know that you do a lot of networking. I know that you're super involved with specifically Henderson Chambers, where we met. I'm sure you're involved with Vegas Chamber as well, or I know you are. We're going to have this fun little Mad Libs style segment where we talk about doing business in Las Vegas. So when doing business in Las Vegas, it's essential to have a solid strategy for Networking. Yeah. That's what we're talking about. The key to networking in Las Vegas is to always remember to
not name drop.
Okay. And why?
Because you never know if the person you mention is and the person that you're talking to, you just it's such a little big town. You just kind of let the relationship develop.
Okay. You mean not name drop in a bad way?
In any way. Just say, I know so-and-so, or until you get to, until you ask enough questions and make sure that you aren't,
that's a good point. Yeah. Cause sometimes you say, oh, I know that, or I know this person, and, and they're like, oh, I used to work with them.
Yeah. You see eyes go this way, and you're like, oh, that conversation went in opposite direction.
Very good advice.
Fair.
I love it. Yes. That's a good.
From experience. So I learned that a long time ago.
Small town, right? One thing every new transplant should know before doing business in Las Vegas is to never underestimate the power of
community.
Yay.
Yes, of course.
When it comes to connecting with a business contact over coffee, drinks, or lunch, where's a great place? What do you like to?
I just came from there, and it's Vintner Grill.
Oh, yum!
It is. I sat in a perfect spot today, and I think I said hello to probably 10 people just today.
Yeah.
And it is a fantastic place to go for lunch. Don't get there much for dinner. I love that our office is, I call it our new employee dining room because it is right next door. So we moved about 3 years ago into, and it is approximately 150 steps from our office.
Oh my gosh,
and
how nice.
The staff there is amazing. The
And
Teresa.
where is it located?
It is on Charleston and Wallapai in Summerlin. And it is just a wonderful, wonderful place to go.
Awesome. I love when you plug our local businesses.
Yes.
Let's see. So what's the best way to unwind after a long day of meetings? Because we know you have back-to-back meetings in Las Vegas. What do you like to indulge in?
So I don't know if I'd call it indulge. I am, I'm ready to go home after a long day.
Yeah.
And I will say my dog is the puppy cuddles. So I guess is that indulging in puppy cuddles?
It doesn't have to be indulging outside the home. It can be inside the home.
And kiddo cuddles.
Yes.
And I'll include my husband in that. I think it's just indulge in just once I'm finally ready to sit down and just being able to sit and maybe indulge in a book if I can keep my eyes open long enough, because once I sit, it is time to relax.
Yeah, especially when you get up at 4 a.m.
Yes.
Right. All right. Our last little segment is super fun. I like to call it the personal lightning round of questions, because we get to know a little bit about what goes on in your imagination. So we get to know a little bit more about our guests. So if you could teleport anywhere in the world right now, where would you go and why?
So it's interesting because I would love to teleport to anywhere where there is blue skies, no wind, clear water that I can see my toes, and just beautiful white sand. So that is obviously not in Las Vegas right now, because it is incredibly
windy. Yes.
Or it has been windy.
Yes.
We've had a very windy season. And then the other, so this is so random, but if I could teleport and not have to learn how to scuba dive, I would, and not actually go through the process. So I admire anyone who scuba dives. So I didn't know that, so I admire you even more. If I could go to the bottom of the ocean and just explore and experience, but not have to worry about user error coming back up and something happening to me.
Is that fear you need to get over?
I think it's user error.
Yeah, it is scary, I will tell you, and it's a lot of training. But once you practice it, it's second nature.
Oh, I'm sure it's invigorating too.
Yeah,
it's
it is
so amazing.
But if you have that passion to want to see that, it's just a fear you need to get over.
Okay.
Because there's some people that are like, ugh, I wouldn't want to see any of that or do any of that. But if all it takes is just that, you're like, I'd love to do that, but I'm afraid of, having to go through the process of it, then you can do it.
Well, now I know someone to talk to about it.
We'll talk offline.
Who would have thought?
Exactly. I like inspiring people to do it. It's all about buddies, by the way. So you just need a friend, and you can learn it together.
You can be my scuba diving personal board of director.
I'd encourage you along the way.
Yes, exactly.
If you could what did you want to be when you grew up? I don't think we asked.
I thought I wanted to be a doctor.
Okay.
And then I took my I did great in school, did great in science. And then I took my very first chemistry class and thought,
this is not for me.
No. So I am tangential to the medical world, being in the employee benefits profession.
Yeah.
And I love that I ended up where I am. I really do.
I get that.
I respect the providers. They are amazing.
I wanted to be a finance major. My parents were investment bankers, and I thought, and I was always it was just very admirable to me, and they were upper middle class. They made good money. I'm like, I'm going to follow in their footsteps, right? And I took my first economics class, got a D, and I went, this is not me. I'm definitely not a numbers person. I'm not an economist. This is not for me. So I'm glad I went into a creative field. Yes.
Creative and people person.
Exactly. Yes.
You found the right calling. I will say.
Thank you. If you could have a superpower, what would it be, and how would you use it?
So I would figure out how to be in two places at once. So maybe the cloning, but not so be in two places at once where, again, I mentioned my schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So if I could do, the fun Dulcinea and the business Dulcinea and the you name all the Dulcineas that exist, I think that would be a really fun.
Wouldn't it be fun? You were in a meeting and you're conducting business, but you're also on a beach somewhere.
Yeah, you're getting relaxed, and all of a sudden the person in the meeting is presenting, like doing amazing because this one's relaxed over here.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yes,
I would love that. Okay, let's do one more. What's the most adventurous thing you've ever done, and when you do it again?
Not scuba diving. I would not consider myself very adventurous. When I lived in Arizona, I did climb. So the highest peak in Arizona is called Humphreys Peak, and it is about 12,000, a little over 12,000 feet. And so you start at about 9, and we ended up leaving. We climbed. I made it almost to the very tip top, and the clouds started coming over and lightning started, and I was so close to getting up there, and I decided that I would not risk my life, and because I was on the shale that had obviously been hit by lightning in the past. And so we then ran down. It's about a 5-mile up and down, and so it was definitely a because it's switchbacks, and so we ran back down in hail and mud, and it was thankfully it was the middle of the summer, so it wasn't that bad,
right?
But it was a really interesting experience.
That's
I have to
adventurous.
say I did it the summer following, and then I moved I left Arizona and came to Nevada.
And you came here.
I haven't ventured down that path again.
Well, that's a cool thing. You've checked it off the box.
Yes.
It's good.
What's the most adventurous thing you've done?
Probably skydive.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say skydive because I scuba dive on a fairly regular basis. We usually do a few dives a year. And my husband and I like to off-road. So we off-road in some pretty adventurous spots, on the sides of cliffs and the, where we're climbing up mountains that you're like, how am I going to get my truck up that? And we do it. So those are the ongoing adventurous things. But yeah, and my husband is a lot more adventurous than I am. So it's usually him kind of pulling me like, let's do this. And eventually I say yes. So... Well, Dulcinea, we've had so much fun talking today. Tell people how they can learn more about Cragin and Pike and get involved.
This has been so fantastic. Thank you for the opportunity. So you can find Cragin and Pike at cragin-pike.com. You can add, if you want to find me, I'm at Rongavilla at cragin-pike.com. I am just so thrilled to have been here and look forward to seeing you out and about.
Thank you so much. All right, everybody, that's a wrap for today's episode. Be sure to follow GYC Vegas on Instagram, Facebook, X, and LinkedIn, and subscribe to our channel wherever you stream your podcasts. And if you want to learn more about how your business can enhance its marketing efforts through the power of PR, visit our website at gycvegas.com. Thanks for listening to Get Your Chat On with GYC Vegas, and we'll see you next time.